Hi there, it's Julia Williams back again. If you remember the Society of Authors, you might have received your ballot paper for the Management Committee elections. If so, I hope you vote for me. You don't have to. You can disagree with everything I say, and that's fine. Your prerogative. Today, I want to talk about courage, and particularly the courage of a few people who, in recent weeks, have done a very brave thing and stood up against the crowd and come forth and said they were wrong about things, which I think takes a huge amount of bravery and dignity. So the first person I would like to publicly acknowledge for doing this is John Boyne, who did a very public apology to Graham Linehan a few weeks ago, and I thought it was wonderful to see. Very gracious apology, very gracious acceptance from Graham. And John has been really, really forthright in the last few weeks, supporting other people who have been maligned and mistreated because of certain beliefs that they have. But this week, I particularly want to focus in on James Mayhew, a children's illustrator and writer, who again has been very, very brave. And he said that 4 years ago, when there was a pile-on Rachel Rooney, that he got it wrong, and he's apologised to Rachel. And as a result, unsurprisingly, he's had a lot of stick from a lot of the people who came out and enjoyed jumping on Rachel at the time, who've also, similar people have come and bullied Anjali Rofe, and similar people have had a go at Jim Phillip. And as J.K. Rowling said in Harry Potter, it takes a great deal of courage to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. And so, James, I really salute you, because I don't think that can have been easy, particularly when we all know, we've all seen what happens to people who put their heads above the parapet. But I really hope that things are changing, because as John Boyne said yesterday, this is the time to stop people being harassed out of their jobs for things that they believe in, particularly for things that are illegal, and belief that there is nothing wrong in believing the things that they believe in. Now, if I get elected for the Society of Authors, I really want to stand up for people who are being harassed for their particular beliefs. And this is not about people who are wanting to incite hatred or in any shape or form. That's not what this is about. This is about people who perhaps have a belief that isn't particularly popular right now. As a very young, clever young lady I know said to me recently, I could have an opinion today that in 10 years' time might be seen as beyond the pale. And as a result of holding that opinion, I might have people chase after me, and I might be hounded off Twitter or lose my job or whatever. And she's right. And this is wrong. This is really wrong. I mean, the way things have gone in the last few years on a whole variety of issues has been that people are being hounded, and it seems becoming acceptable in our culture that, you know, you don't like what someone says, so you go, yes, let them lose their job, let them, you know, have the police knock on their door and all the rest of it. And if anything, it sounds to me like, makes me think of the Stasi, which I've already mentioned before, in relation to my mother-in-law who fled the Russians at the end of the war. And I know from stories I've heard from her friends and family how absolutely awful it is to live under a totalitarian regime. We are so fortunate in this country that we don't. And in this industry, we should be standing up for the right of everyone to say what they think, when they think, and it should not affect their profession. It should not affect their livelihoods. It should not be something that we all condemn and bully and harass people for. We just go, yeah, we don't agree. I live with a man, I've lived with the same man for 34 years. We frequently disagree on politics. We have quite vicious rows about it sometimes, and then we just go, fine, disagree. Our lives continue because actually we love each other. We don't really care that much. And, you know, it's possible to be friends with people and violently disagree with them. You know, try it. It's quite fun. One of the great things for me about being involved in some of the arguments I've been involved in the last few years has been that I have met loads of people outside my comfort zone, loads of people outside my bubble, and found really interesting people that I probably disagree with on a whole number of issues, but then there are issues I do agree with them on, and they've opened my eyes and they've made me think of things in a different way. And this surely is what the writing and publishing industry should all be about. And we all need to open our eyes. We all need to let in viewpoints that we don't agree with. We need to discuss them. We need to write about them. We need to challenge them and champion them. And if I get elected to the Society of Authors, that's what I would like to do. I would like to change the culture there to make this be something that we really all should be focusing on in an industry. And I would do it for anyone. I would do it for anyone, whether you agree with me or not. If I found you were being harassed or hounded, I would come and I would stand by you. I might not agree with you, but I would stand by you and try and stop it happening. And I would, if I thought you'd been sacked unfairly by your publisher, I would come stand by you and say, don't do this, because that's what we should all be doing. I'm just going to end this little section now, this little video now, with a quote from the late, great Carmen Khalil, who left the Society of Authors 2 years ago as a result of what had happened to Philip Pullman. And when she left, she said this, and as an editor of 34 years standing, well, actually it's not anyway, 30 odd years standing, I couldn't agree with her more. She said, "It is the job of a book publisher and editor to protect all writers, all books, to honour the freedom of speech essential to all writers." Yes, it absolutely is. I don't think publishing has been doing nearly a good job on that. And I also think it's the job of the Society of Authors to do the same. And it's the job of the Society of Authors to call publishers into account for what they are not doing. And that's what I'd like to see. And that's what I stand for. And if you do too, please do vote for me. Thank you.